Bangs in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. Hey man, one question that I get asked a lot is, yo Wavy, even though you're in a treated room, we always see you recording with a microphone shield and also a blanket on that shield. Why would you need to do that in a treated room? Let me start off by showing y'all this treated room, okay? So first thing that y'all need to notice is that in my actual mixing environment, this is where most of the treatment is. Let me turn this light off for y'all real quick so you can see, all right? In this part where I actually sit and listen, this is where most of my treatment is. I have ceiling clouds. Those are 2 inches thick. They should probably be about 4 inches. I got panels up on the wall. I got panels in the corner. I got some really thick panels back here behind the speakers. Same thing happening over there and over there. So this area, that is my listening environment, AKA known as my sweet spot. That is where I spend most of my acoustic treatment. That is where it sounds the best. You might even be able to hear it that as I'm standing over here, it might sound a little bit more treated, sound a little bit more muted. I'm gonna turn this light back on so we can have that. But it might sound even better over here. As I move to the back of the room, you might notice that there's more reflections over here. There's less treatment as far as absorption goes back here. I have diffusers back here. This is just going to help to keep the room a little bit live without sucking out all the energy and making the room feel really dead. This wall right here ain't treated at all. This wall over here, I have a bunch of speakers and microphones that I'm storing over there and another diffuser. And back here, there is a diffuser up there that ain't really doing too much, and then there's this huge open gap in the ceiling to where there is a lot of reflective material. So this is probably a lot of studios you might see kind of operate like this, to where I prioritize my listening environment to be more of a dead zone, and the back of the studio is just a little bit more lively. I just feel like it sounds better like that for the way that I like to listen. So, but when it comes to recording in this environment, that's when I need to take some extra steps and extra precautions to block out any of the reflections that might be unwanted in that recording. So that's why you see me using stuff like this shield right here. You can already tell, like I can hear this just by talking. If I was talking into this shield, it's going to reduce the amount of reflections that's bouncing off and hitting the wall in the first place, and then ever even coming back into the microphone. But I like to take it a step further, because you see those shields, they don't have anything to reduce what's happening above. And again, right here where I have this microphone at, I've got a nice hard surfaced ceiling. I could probably put some clouds back here, and I probably will eventually, but since I don't have them up right now, this is gonna be the next best thing. So let me just set this up. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a recording test so that y'all can hear the actual difference between recording with the reflection shield, without the reflection shield, and just and with the blanket as well. So I'm gonna just start off with just this microphone in the room so that y'all can see. This is gonna be a really good test for anybody who has a home studio that y'all not sure what type of treatment you actually need to have in your home studio. A lot of y'all just set the microphone up in a random place and think that it's good, and it might be decent, but you could be getting better results just by doing some minimal changes to the room. I actually got a whole course that I'm working on right now. I'll leave a link in the description of this video for you to sign up to be one of the first to know when that course is going to be ready, and you'll be able to jump in at the early bird price. So here we go. Let me go ahead and spit some bars. Bangs in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole womb yelling, turn the vocals up loud. ATL summer engineers outside. Home studio kids going worldwide. One plug-in turned a hobby into a business. Now you backstage taking pictures with your mentors. Studio dreams, billboard glow. Everybody networking. Grammys on the flow. Mix Nick, it's where the future gets made. If you serious about audio, then pull up for the wave. Alright, here we go. Bane's in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud. ATL summer, engineers outside. Home studio kids going worldwide. One plug-in turned a hobby into a business. Now you backstage taking pictures with your mentors. Studio dreams, billboard glow. Everybody networking. Grammys on the flow. Mix Nick is where the future gets made. If you're serious about audio, then pull up for the wave. All right, now let's put the blanket on. Step this back so you can see it's the full setup. Now here's the thing, when I put the blanket on, you see it's kind of doubled up at the top. I want to make sure that it's actually covering and got some space on the top of the microphone. Let me show you this. So if you see how this is, it's not really over the mic, but this thing right here is adjustable and I can bring this forward closer to put the mic kind of in this little cave. Now, how is this different from something like an eyeball or something like that? Is that this thing right here, when you use stuff like this is going to really block off the sound and make it sound like super closed in, dark and unnatural. When I do it like this, it still feels, it just feels more natural. It feels more real to do it like this. So let me fix this real quick. I'm going to just draw this in a little bit. Dang, this blanket smells good. Okay. Draw that in a little bit. Make sure it's not sagging. Touching the mic. Then I'm gonna actually create a little bit more separation. Lift that mic up. The placement of this is kind of important. There we go. There we go. Don't worry, I'm gonna show y'all what I got going on, and then I'll bring this back down. All right, so if you look at this now, yes, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but my mic is in there. The top of the mic is covered. It's fully covered on all sides. And we're going to really be blocking any other reflections. Now, I'm also primarily, you see, the reason that my back is to this area is because this is the most treated area in the studio. You want to always put your back to the most treated area, because when you're working with a cardioid microphone, it's automatically naturally going to reject stuff that's behind it. So by me doing it like this, I'm clearing up anything behind it or any reflections that's going to come from above it. And then behind me is the most treated spot in my room, which is why I record this way or set it up like this for when my artists are in here. All right. So let's get it. Let's see what this sounds like. Yo, Bane's in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud. ATL summer, engineers outside. Home studio kids going worldwide. One plug-in turned a hobby into a business. Now you backstage taking pictures with your mentors. Studio dreams, billboard glow. Everybody networking. Grammys on the flow. Mix Nick is where the future gets made. If you're serious about audio, then pull up for the wave. Wavy. Now, one thing that you're going to see right off the gate, if you look at these waveforms, man, this is actually incredible, right? Now, look at the waveforms of the audio. This is without anything, just the mic in the room. This is the mic with the reflection shield. And this is the latest one. What you notice is that the waveforms actually got smaller. I didn't touch the preamp. I didn't touch the level or anything. That is literally all of the room reflections actually being filtered out. Now, let's go ahead and listen to this.
Bane's in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud.
All right, that don't sound bad at all. It don't sound bad, but let's listen to it with the mic shield.
Bane's in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud.
All right, it does protect it a little bit, right? And let's hear the last one. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit just to be fair.
Bane's in the building, TZO on stage. Young Guru dropping gems and giving game. Leslie Brathwaite judging mixes in the crowd. The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud. AT.
All right, now you can hear that part is the most important part. The part where I scream, turn the vocals up loud, right? Let me just move this back so that they are similar areas. But that part where I say turn the vocals up loud, that's the part for potentially most of the room noise to enter into the microphone. I pretty much don't hear any of it in this third recording. Here's the full setup with the mic shield and the blanket.
The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud.
Versus the first one with just the microphone by itself in the room.
The whole room yelling, turn the vocals up loud.
We can hear some room noise in there, and then with the mic shield alone,
yelling, turn the vocals up loud.
It seemed like that one even has even more room noise on with the mic shield. So all in all, listen, if you want really clean recordings and want the ability to be able to control everything that's happening, you just got to take those extra steps. Use your ears and make your best judgment. I didn't choose this because it looks good. I didn't choose it because it was fun. I set this up because I wanted to minimize the amount of room reflections that were getting into my recordings. The thing is, if you record something with too much room reverb or too much room sound, you can't take that out. It's going to be super hard and make it sound unnatural. But we can always add effects to give space to create that space. So I would rather err on the side of more dry sounding vocals when I am recording and have the full ability to create the sound that I want in the mix. All right. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Will you be adding a blanket somewhere in your recording setup? You don't have to do it just like this. Just think about, how can I minimize reflections in a room? It might be hanging a blanket across a door or standing your mattress up in your bedroom while you recording, man. Anyway, I got the full course on getting $1 million vocals in your home studio, man, and why your home studio is ruining your recordings is coming out really soon. I'm in the process of editing it, but I want to find out if you are interested. So if you are, click the link in the description of this video, leave me your email, and I will keep you posted on all the things as this course starts to roll out. Thanks for watching this video. Hope it's been helpful. Be dope.